Hello and welcome back to the Games Kingdom. Today's unboxing and review is going to be the Alien role-playing game starter set and Game Master's screen. This is a system brought out via Kickstarter initially, but you can now buy it on the Free League Publishing website. They are a Swedish company, and I ordered this and it came within sort of 4 working days. Pretty reasonable price. And I'm looking forward to getting this to the table once we can all meet up again. I haven't done any role-playing GMing or otherwise for crikey, at least sort of a couple of decades or so, but I'm really sort of looking forward to getting my teeth into this, to sort of pardon the pun, with the aliens and things. So let's go through bits and pieces that sort of came in the set. We've got a nice sort of pack of cards here which gives sort of characters a personal agenda, and they are sort of randomly determined and given out, and that's their thing to sort of try and ensure that they do during the game. They are, as I say, sort of, there's 1 or 2 for some characters in here, and they are sort of character specific, but as I say, they are personal agendas. There's cards which basically just sort of get given to each player in the game, and that just gives them that little extra thing of what their character looks like in the game. There's weapons, then there's your initiative cards, there's more personal agenda cards here. So as I said, there's quite a nice range of cards and things that you get. There's all sorts of different characters, some player characters, some non-player characters for the set, because there is a specific scenario that you get in the box set called the Chariot of the Gods. So this is a sort of like a one-shot game, but obviously then that leads you on to others that you can purchase, or like you do in sort of other role-playing games, you can make up your own scenarios. You get 2 different sets of dice. Now you get these in the starter box, and these are very nice. You can use just plain D6, but you will need 2 different colours. You've got your sort of normal dice here that you roll, and depending on your attributes and stats, you would roll a certain number of dice depending on what you're doing, whether it's a sort of something to do with mobility or engineering, or a sort of skill that you've got. You would roll that number of dice, and you always try and use 2 different abilities together. So you might get 4 for one ability and 1 for another. You pick up those 5 dice, you roll them, and we see here that we've got 2 6s. Now any single roll of a 6 on anything that you're trying to do will mean that you've succeeded in doing that particular action that you wanted to do in the course of your turn. And if you get more, if you were, say, shooting an alien, you can either add that extra 6 to that and do more damage, or you can do stunts and you can sort of perform other sort of actions for that other success. So you have a choice. The other set of dice are your stress dice. Now you start with no stress, obviously, but as the game goes on, because it is a horror-based game, you're going to get stress for your character, and if your stress level was, say, 3, you would roll the 5 dice we rolled earlier and got the 2 6s and the sort of other successes, but you would also roll your 3 stress dice, and any 6s also count as a success. But if you get a 1, which is symbolized by the face hugger, which is quite nice, that means then you are liable to panic, and for every face hugger that comes up, you have to roll panic. So you would see what your stress level is. So if your stress level was 3 and you panic, you then get an extra dice, so that would make 4. So you roll another d6, that's 4. You add the total from your stress dice, so your panic roll would be 8. And on the table, which comes on a nice screen, which I also purchased, but also is in the book as well. So if you haven't got the screen, you can just go from the book. But a roll of 8 would mean that you start to tremble. You start to tremble uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 modification until your panic stops. You can go up to 15, which means that you become catatonic and you just lie on the floor staring out into oblivion. And if you lose all of your wounds, you're not necessarily dead, but it could mean that you suffer a critical injury, and they can, you know, range from being winded or stunned or crippling pain all the way up to you've had an impaled heart roll and you die instantly. But just because your character dies doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the game, because there are other characters that you will be able to take over that are on board. So if you've got say 3 actual players along with the GM, there will be more, and the group or the GM will be looking after those. And if one of your main characters dies, you can just take over one of the other player characters or a potential non-player character that you encounter throughout the game scenario. So we've got that nice screen. That's very good. That sort of just hides everything that the GM is doing. You've got your dice. You've got some nice tokens here, which again, it is a role-playing game, but you can just sort of hand these tokens out and that will just sort of add a little bit of extra flavour to the tabletop. So got to punch those out. You get a nice double-sided map. One side shows the USCSS Kronos, which is the ship that the player characters start on, and on the other side is a map of the current universe, including the very now famous LV-426, the setting for the Aliens film. You also get a bunch of pre-generated character sheets. So these are for the Chariot of the Gods scenario. You've got, again, the same picture as you get on your small card. It tells you about your talents, it tells you about your strength and ability, and on the flip side it gives you all your attributes, and you can sort of fill extra bits in that you pick up along the way, sort of like pieces of equipment and such like. And then all of these numbers, they relate to the number of dice and things that you would roll if you were using those attributes in the actual game itself. So we've got those there. We've got the rule book, which is, I'm just going to flick through this so that you know, it's not giving too much away. I don't want to really sort of do that, because with it being a role-playing game, then obviously it's not like a board game rule book, but you don't want people to sort of know too much what's coming up. So that's quite a nice sort of extensive rule book. That's 105 pages. There is a large full rule book which you get, or you can get, which gives you all of the sort of things of how to generate your own characters and sort of do your own scenarios. I've just got this starter box for the time being, and this is sort of like a condensed version, but is more than enough that you need for the scenario. And then we've got the Chariot of the Gods scenario book, and that gives you all the details of all your characters, what they're supposed to be doing. Again, some more maps and things of ships, including other things in here that you will come across, and other sort of maps and ships and things that the scenario sort of deals with. And that's about it. It's an excellent looking system, as I can't wait to get this to the table. I'm sure it'll be quite a lot of fun. They suggest about 4 to 5 hours for a initial scenario of the Chariot of the Gods, so I'm going to try and kick that off. I've also got the sort of Awaken Realms Nemesis game, which is also based around the Alien universe, which I've ordered the neoprene game board map of the ship, and my plan is to devise my own scenario using that ship map, and then use the rooms and the miniatures and everything with the board game and run a scenario in that using these particular rules, because I think I am going to buy the full rules at some point. And the other good thing about getting them direct from Free League, although you can buy them through other shops in the UK and other places, if you order direct from Free League, they will also send you a link to go onto their web store, and you can download all of what you've bought as PDFs. So you can then download that onto a tablet or a phone or a laptop, so you can use that, and potentially the players also have access to the rule book if they need to check anything at any time during the game. So you know, and you've got all of your things like blank character sheets, maps of the universe, you've got maps of ships, you've got planet layouts, and other scenario sort of bits and pieces that you can download from their site, but they're all sort of specific to the set or the book that you buy. So if you buy the starter set, you get all of the bits that come with that starter set as a download, and then if you buy the rule book, you get that as well, but you don't get access to the main rulebook PDF if you don't buy it. So you have to purchase it first, but you then get that option that you can have it on a phone or a tablet, which means you can just sort of look it up wherever you are if you want to have a quick read in your lunchtime at work or something. So that's Alien the RPG. As I say, it's a nice system. Looking forward to getting it to the table. The main starter set cost less than £40. The GM screen was a little, I thought a little bit expensive. That was about £18. And the only bad thing about it is it's a very tight fit if you want to put it into the starter set box. I think either the screen needed to be a centimetre smaller, or the box needed to be a centimetre bigger, just to get it in the box, and also be able to get everything back out again without sort of, as I had to do, was sort of pull the side of the box and put my fingers in and get them out. So if Free League do watch this or whatever, when you do your next run, I'd suggest making the box, if you can, just a little bit bigger, just so that people can get the stuff in and out without sort of damaging the rule books and the screens and that sort of thing. Other than that, the quality is fantastic. So go to their site, check it out, guys. It's Free League Publishing. And yeah, that's been a quick sort of overview of Alien RPG. Have fun, and we'll see you again soon.